Your parents are not welcome in this room. If you don't like it, you can leave. What? Why? Why are you rejecting my parents like that? Just shut up. I don't like them, that's all. My mom says the same thing. She thinks they're awful. I don't want people like that in here. How? How can you say something like that? They are my parents. I felt my heart sink. I was so hurt that I wanted to cry. My husband and I loved each other, but if he was going to say things like this, I wasn't sure I could stay with him anymore. Anyway, I told you, they are not coming. If you don't like it, you can leave. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My husband hated my parents. He even called them awful. That was something I couldn't accept. Fine, I'm leaving. You're going to regret this. My name is Emily, and I'm 34 years old. I work in an office. I've been married to my husband, Jason, for 5 years. We both have jobs, but to save money, we live in a small, inexpensive apartment in the suburbs. Because we've been saving carefully for the past 5 years, we've built up a good amount of money. I've worked really hard for this. As I look at our savings, I can't help but smile. That's when Jason walks over, looking hesitant. Hey, we've saved up quite a bit. Maybe we should think about moving. The rent is cheap here, but the commute is long. I'd love to live somewhere closer to work. He looks at me like a puppy, hoping I'll say yes. I had originally planned for us to save a little longer, but I understand what he means. Right now, it takes 50 minutes to get to work. On days when I work late, I don't get home until very late at night. After that, I still have to cook and do laundry, so I always end up going to bed exhausted. This really isn't a healthy way to live. When I was younger, I didn't mind using my commute time for reading or listening to music. But now that I'm in my 30s, long commutes feel more tiring than enjoyable. You'd like to get home earlier too, right? He asks. And when we go out with friends, we wouldn't have to worry about getting home so late. Yeah, that's true. I agree. Since we live far from the city, missing the last train means taking an expensive cab ride home. Both Jason and I enjoy going out for drinks with friends and coworkers, so moving somewhere closer would make things easier. Maybe it really is time for a change. I decide to agree with Jason. His face immediately lights up. Yes, thank you. I'll find us a great place to live. I was the one who chose this apartment. Back then, our main goal was to find something cheap, even if it wasn't the most comfortable place. We got used to living here, but I understand why Jason would want something better. Since I made most of the decisions about this apartment, I think it's only fair that I let him take the lead this time. I trust him to find a good place for both of us. That's what I thought. This place looks nice, but I also like this one, Jason says, flipping through some brochures from the real estate office. I take a look. Wait. What? This place costs only $200, and this one is $300. That's way too cheap. That's not even enough for a decent one-bedroom apartment. I take a closer look. Jason, don't you think these places are a bit too expensive? The brochures show apartments costing $2,000 to $3,000 a month. He's looking at high-rise condos. What do you mean? These are the kind of places we should be looking at. I can't believe what I'm hearing. There are plenty of apartments closer to the city that are much cheaper. Suddenly, I start to feel uneasy. Is it really okay to let Jason handle this on his own? As I talk to him more, it becomes clear. He's not picking these places by himself. His mother, Linda, is involved. She's helping him look at apartments, giving her opinions, and deciding what's best for us. One day, I come home early since I don't have to work overtime. When I walk in, I see Jason and his mother, Linda, sitting together, flipping through brochures and chatting excitedly. Linda looks up and says, "Oh, you're home already?" I wanted to keep looking at more places. I force a smile, but inside I'm annoyed. I don't want to see her. Linda and I don't get along. She makes snide comments and always tries to control everything. I head to my room, put down my bag, and change my clothes. As I do, I hear Linda saying goodbye at the door. See you soon, Jason. It seems like she comes over when I'm not home. Since I work overtime more than Jason, I guess this has been happening a lot. But why is she even involved in choosing our apartment? Is she planning to move in with us? No way. I have to stop that at all costs. Even though I originally said I'd let Jason decide, I don't think I can agree to a place with such an expensive rent. Sure, I tend to be more careful with money than some people. But that doesn't mean we should throw away our savings on a place we can't afford. Jason, however, doesn't seem worried at all. He keeps looking at these high-priced apartments. Oh, this one looks perfect. It has everything we need, and it's not too expensive. He grins and waves the brochure excitedly. I take it from him and check the rent. $3,000 a month? How is that not too expensive? I've never lived in a place this pricey before. Is it really worth it? I hesitate. Hey, don't you think this is a little too much? What? No, we can afford it. We have our savings. Yeah, but look at everything this place offers. It has great security, an amazing location, a supermarket nearby, a post office, and even a bank. It's big too. When you consider all that, the price is actually pretty reasonable. He sounds like a real estate agent trying to sell me something. I sigh. I don't think I can change his mind. In the end, I give in to his enthusiasm, and we signed a lease for the new apartment. And that's how our life in the high-rise condo begins. The apartment itself is beautiful, but I've never really felt comfortable here since we moved in. And the biggest reason for that, Linda. She comes over all the time and stays late into the night. Jason, I made steak and fries for dinner. Yes, my favorite. Thanks, Mom. I also made my special soup. Let me know if you want more. She moves around the kitchen like she owns the place, using all the appliances as if they were hers. And just like that, our new home doesn't feel like mine at all. Oh, I haven't made any for you, Emily, so you can cook your own food. Linda glares at me as she says this. No problem, I don't want to eat your cooking anyway. But the pans, knives, and cutting boards she used are left in a sink. Why do I have to start my time at home after work by doing all the dishes? I almost say something, but I know it will only make things worse, so I stay quiet and head to the sink. It's so frustrating. It seems like one of the reasons Linda comes over so often is to show off our new high-rise condo to her neighbors. For a while, Jason keeps inviting his mom over. As for my parents, they haven't visited even once. Whenever I try to talk about them, Jason changes the subject. Jason's dad came over once, but after saying, I don't think I can really relax here, he never came back. Why can't Linda be like him? I'm honestly not happy with Jason's attitude. But I did say I would leave it up to him to find a place, and I agreed to live here, so I feel like I can't say too much. To be honest, I thought you would consider our life together as the priority. But since we moved here, it feels like his attitude toward me has changed. He used to be so kind, and I'm sure he would have stood up for me if Linda had treated me badly. But now, he just lets her do whatever, even when she says awful things to me. That's why Linda keeps getting worse with her behavior. You're home already? Are you really working? You're not lying to us and just messing around, are you? Of course not. I have a proper job. Since we moved here, the office is closer, so I get home earlier now. That's not my problem. Jason and I are having dinner. I can't stand the sight of you, so go to your room or leave. How can you say that? I live here too. You don't even live here. Why should I listen to you? I'm so angry that I snap back at her. Jason gets furious and says, How can you say that to my mom? Just do what she says. Now they're both yelling at me. I'm exhausted from work, and I really don't want to deal with this, so I decide to leave and eat on my own. Late that night, when I think Linda has finally left, I come back home. This is pointless. I'm still coming home late, just like when I used to work overtime and return to the old apartment. I feel overwhelmed, so I ask Jason to come to the living room so we can talk. He looks irritated. Hey, can you ask your mom not to come over so much? Seriously, you're awful. Why are you treating my mom like that? She should treat me better. Stop being ridiculous. She comes over to help with the housework. We should be grateful. Okay, fine. Then I'll call my parents over sometime. My mom's a housewife, and she's good with housework too. Jason looks enraged and yells, We are not having your parents over here. If you don't like it, then get out. What? Why? Why are you rejecting my parents like that? Shut up. I just don't like them. Mom says they're nasty. I'm not having people like that in this room. How can you say that? They're my parents. I'm so heartbroken that I feel like crying. Jason and I loved each other so much. But if he's saying things like this, I don't know if I can stay with him anymore. Anyway, you're not bringing your parents here. Like I said, If you don't listen to me, you're leaving. I can't understand my husband anymore. He says he hates my parents and calls them nasty. This is unacceptable. Okay, I'm leaving. You're going to regret this, you know. Jason snorts. Huh? Regret what? Just get out of here. You're the one who's going to regret this. He must be out of his mind to say that. I pack my things and head to my parents' house. Once I arrive, they ask me a million questions. Why are you here with so many bags? What happened between you and Jason? You just moved into your new place. But after all the questions, they hug me and welcome me home. I can't believe what Jason did to you. Why would he say something like that to you, Emily? Well, to be honest, we never really got along with his mom. Yeah, she has no manners. But for something like this, I think you need to talk it through with him. Emily, we're going to talk to Jason. What? We're going to speak to him. With that, Dad drives Mom and me back to the condo. I'd only been living here for 2 months, but now I'm coming back. We get to the condo, I take the key, get in the elevator, and go up to the 15th floor. I unlock the door and step inside, but something feels off. I see a woman's coat on the floor. Whose coat is that? I rush inside and open the living room door. There, I see my husband and an unfamiliar woman, completely naked and in the middle of their intimate moment. I stand there frozen as the door is wide open and they both scream. What are you doing? Emily? What? Why are you? I thought you left. Jason. What is the meaning of this? You brought your dad. The woman with him yells, "Shut up, will you?" We turn away so they can quickly put on clothes. After a few moments, we sit down and begin asking questions. It turns out they've been seeing each other for months and work together. Jason wanted to move closer to the office so he could spend more time with her. Unbelievable. At this point, I don't feel the need to argue anymore. Dad gives Jason a disgusted look. My lawyer will be in touch about the divorce and compensation. Jason goes pale. The woman scoffs. Whatever. You're renting this place in your name, right, Jason? We can live here then, she says, completely missing the point. Yeah, I guess we could. Jason mutters, too proud to admit the truth. Goodbye then. Oh, and I'm taking the furniture and appliances I pay for with me, all right? I say as I walk out with my parents. A few days later, I arrange for a moving company to get my things, and I officially leave the condo. I file for divorce and compensation from both Jason and his girlfriend through my lawyer. At first, Jason refuses to pay, but my lawyer is top-notch. In the end, he has no choice but to agree to my terms. A month later, I get a call from an unknown number. I pick up, and it's a familiar voice. Linda. Emily, I'm so glad you picked up. Linda. Why are you calling me? Oh, I wanted to say I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were the one paying most of the rent for the condo. I want to apologize. Please come back. Jason can't afford the rent now, and he might get kicked out. His new girlfriend quit her job and doesn't do any housework. She doesn't listen to me, and the other day she almost slapped me. It was terrifying. I realized things were so much better when you were here. Her words make me feel sick. She just wants to have things her way. Sorry, that's not my problem. You figure it out. Goodbye. Wait, please. I hang up and immediately block her number. According to a mutual friend, Jason couldn't afford the rent and had to move out. As a result, his girlfriend dumped him too. Linda had been bragging to her neighbors about her son's life in a fancy condo. But when they found out I had been paying most of the rent and that Jason had to move out so soon, they all started laughing at her. Nobody takes her seriously anymore. Now she barely leaves her house. She got exactly what she deserved. As for me, I've moved into a small apartment, living a simple life. I'm saving up again, and it's adding up to a decent amount. I might even be able to retire a little early. I wonder why do some people pretend they earned everything on their own when it was really their spouse who made it all possible? Jason should have been grateful. In any case, I'm so glad Emily got to leave her awful ex-husband behind. I hope she meets someone so much better in the future. Thanks for sticking around until the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.